Hey guys, I'm Naya and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm joined by a multiple time YCS winner, a world's competitor, and like one of the most accomplished players, especially for Europe. I'm joined by Raphael Neven. Welcome. I'm very glad to have you here today.
Hi, thanks for asking me.
So we're gonna talk about tech cards. I'm really excited to do another tier list with a guest. So I'm just hyped to hear all of your thoughts about all of these cards. We talked a little bit about them right now, and you feel like you might want to slap a couple of them in bra, which I'm down to do. So feel free, feel free to let me know where you would like to place those bad cards. But overall, yeah, like this meta is just kind of annoying. It's very diverse, and I guess it's cool to talk about tech cards that you're able to run no matter what deck you're playing. So we have the usual tiers: the goated, good, decent, not worth it, and of course the bruh tier. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. What's your thoughts on Zuking Alpha? And maybe like together with that, we can also address kaijus and stuff like that, because I think like even though they do similar things in a way, kaijus, for example, are much better right now. So what's your take on all of that?
Alpha goes probably in the not worth it
Okay.
thing,
Yep.
just because like it's like you say, it's not like a kaiju. You have to summon
Mm-hmm.
it first. Most of the board breakers right now, we're gonna like try and break the Kashira board. I guess the Sprite board too. The Alpha just doesn't help you break anything like that
Mm-hmm.
because like on summon they can literally just like arise the way and then lock even if they didn't lock all your zones, let's say they just lock three with
Yeah.
like standard one unicorn does that. You
Mm-hmm.
summon Alpha, they just banish it with a rise art, then they lock one zone, then the Diablosis triggers, lock another zone. Again, you did nothing. Just
It
you
just
just
makes me
locked
really
your
sad.
last two zones for like
Yeah.
against Prey, I'm just thinking how that would go, that interaction. He just loses to red. I guess if you go battle phase, then they take it with double cross. I don't
I don't know.
think
There's smashers
it
as
does
well that
enough.
like yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Alpha is really good right now.
Mm-hmm. Like on
The
the other
Kaijus
hand,
are a lot
kaijus,
better.
I would put
Yeah,
him in good.
they're very good right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
the only issue with them is that it's really good, of course, into the Arise Pass kind of
Yeah.
like opening that the Cash deck does.
Yeah.
But with Cash, you just like you don't really know how they play it. And
Yeah.
personally, I think I would try to just always do combo, at least semi combo with like at least lock free.
Mm-hmm.
Banish 7 cards from the top, you destroy that deck, you see their extra deck. The knowledge is super important as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the kaijus are like, yeah, you still out rise hard, but like they saw what you play. If you don't play cash, they're gonna standby phase summon the Fenrir. So that's another interrupt. You yeah, sure you did you ended like with like outing their rise, but like there's still a whole field, especially if they have Shangri-La plus the field spell.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever their Fenrir resolves, getting rid of one of your cards, the Shangri-La will lock a zone and the field spell will pop another card. So like there's still a lot of interrupts for the kaiju that could have been like an eclipse and outing everything.
Mm.
But then again, if they go Arise or Pass and they set like lands or something, then of course the kaiju's way better. So
Yeah.
kaijus are definitely really good right now, but they are a bit like um
It's weird.
yeah,
Because
it's very
yeah.
dependent on what the cash players are going to do in like a
Yes.
specific. And
Yes.
like last week, I played a deck that just went Arise Hard Pass full of like low engine with like extra hand traps and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I might for next event I might change that up if I see too many people like playing cards like kaijus to counter the Rise Hard
Yeah.
Pass. I think the more combo-y version with cash with place over and stuff and just try to lock as many zones as possible becomes better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna change by a week or 2 week basis, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what's gonna like make or break it for kaijus.
That's right.
Also, I guess the sprite board, the kaiju is not gonna do enough, I think, because like they're gonna have like usually they're gonna have like a Melfi card, they're gonna have a red, maybe a carrot as well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a Gin Buster, so like or a sprint that can bounce plus the double curl. So like one kaiju is not gonna like help you break that board
Yeah.
as well as maybe other.
I think it's like it's very reminiscent of like how Nibiru sometimes just comes in and out of the meta depending on what people are playing, and it's like one of those cards that's like really reactive. So like you said, you probably need to think about your own local or regional setting and just play kaijus or not play kaijus or run everything if you're expecting a lot of Kashira players and you're not certain what they're going to be doing. So they're a bit awkward, but they are incredibly strong if your opponent goes for the Arise Hard Pass. And a lot of times they are going to be doing it because also the Kashira players are a bit confused, about what to do and about what people are going to side to counter them. So I still think that as many cards as you're able to side in that matchup, you probably should if you have enough space. So I don't know. I agree with Kaiju being in the good slot. I think it's cool. So what's your thoughts on anti-spell and like overall just trap cards which are inherently slower, just siding a trap card when you're going first anyway with your strategy trying to go first and then siding this on top of it, like sometimes feels like a bit of an overkill. So do you feel like anti-spell is actually worth to overkill and side right now? Like it's not bad.
I could never see myself in this particular format in whatever deck I play. I could ever have space in the side deck for a card like anti-spell.
Okay.
Because like, first of all the decks are pretty good going first. I don't think many decks should play anything for going first anyway.
Yeah,
like
this is what it
sure, in
is.
Kastira you can play like Deflector or something like that, just because you're gonna assume that they will side in more books to counter your board, so you can side in another card that counters, sure. But even if you want to play something for going first, I don't think anti-spell is it. Like I think a card like Barrier is way more impactful. It's just still like a phenomenal card.
I mean, I want to put it in
it can
decent.
can give you free wins for sure. Like the cash deck plays a lot of spells.
In branded, it might be
It's probably
struggling
against
a bit.
branded. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty good against branded too. But like, I'm not saying the card is bad. I'm just saying like I think in this format when you have to side for like so many different decks, there's just never going to be space for something like anti-spell, in my opinion.
True. I agree. I think decent is like the perfect place for it. But a pointer though, because it's like only one copy, I think it's a bit better. Because if you know for a fact your deck is losing to something like Lava Golem, Sphere Mode, like stuff that just really is going to annihilate you if you're playing Sprite or something like that, or even other decks, I think it's quite useful. And it's only taking up like one slot of yours. And also if you pair it up together with Thrust or Tasking, it's not bad either. So I think I don't know, I think it's quite good. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, this card's fine. I think if you play Kashira, it becomes a lot better. I think you could say if you play Kashira, it could even go in Goated, just because the card you banish just goes in the Rise Art, so they never get it back. And in the other deck, yeah, sure, in the other deck is fine. It's a good card, sure, yeah.
All right.
It is though another going first card, which I'm just not sure you can play, but. Yeah.
Like, I guess maybe if you have those kinds of patterns in a deck like Ashira or Sprite, I think you can afford the space, probably. So, do we want to put this in Goated?
Yeah, it's probably one of the most
played
cards right now. Pretty much.
Even
though like it does lose like lands and Ash, but it's still it's a really good card right now, sure.
Yeah, I agree. So the Lunar Eclipse just is a bit worse, even though like people say, oh, but Eclipse loses to Ash. I still think the Lunar Eclipse is worse, like the discard and the 2 and all of that. Like it's not enough, I think. So
no, the Lunar is way worse. I would probably put it even in like not worth it.
Not worth it?
Just yeah, because like you have 4 cards after this resolves. Like they have the board with Diablosis, Fenrir, Shangri-La, and Rise Art. And you can book 2 of them. Your discards are going banished. So if you play like Naturia or like a Runic deck and you want to like have some use for that card in the grave or Mathmech, it's not going to happen because that card's going to banish anyway. Then you have to book a Rise and probably Fenrir, right? And now you have 4 cards left.
Yeah.
Against their non-engine, potentially, but yeah, I don't know. Like I don't think this card will be good enough as a board breaker. I think you rather play other cards, especially because the discard's quite rough. Like if you have 4 cards, you go start play. They Ash, now you only have 3 cards left. It depends which deck you play, of course, because like there are decks like. Oh, I was testing Plunder Patrol, and then you need more cards to play with. Then, for example, you play Sprite. Like any starter can like turn into a lot, so that might be different. But in the end, I just never see people like play this card. The only deck I thought this card was ever good in was like we had that format for 1 week. That was like the Tier Element deck
Mm-hmm.
in the format that Kashtira was already legal, because if you discard any miller of this, then it was insane.
Yeah.
And then that's why it also became like a pretty decent going first card if you could side it against Flunder and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, no, I don't. Right now, I don't think you should ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably not worth playing this. No.
That's what I wanted to say. Like, if you actually plussed off of the discard, it would be much, much better. Like, if the discard was for a fact going to the grave and like giving you pluses, that would be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, not happening. So I think call by is good. Like, especially also going second if you're up against branded, like for the branded and red targets, for like explosion stuff and all of that, and also in branded, like against Ash and all of that. And people are still playing hand traps. Like, you have decks like Math Mech you mentioned, and a couple decks where you have a like a small engine when it comes to like you starting to play. You only need like a card or two, and then you have a bunch of space for other cards. So a card like call by is always going to be useful, I think. I don't know, like good, probably.
I think it's deck dependent. I think if I would play a deck like branded, if
Yeah.
I really lose to Ash, then yes.
Mm-hmm.
If I play a deck like Kashtira, when it's just not, I'm just not sure how they will approach my deck. Maybe they just side in books and kaijus, and then my call by is just gonna sit there. So I think it's deck dependent, but yeah, call by is still like an incredible card.
You make it put
very-
it in good
very-
and then just stack a couple cards
yeah,
on
I
top
think
of it.
it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Chalice. I was never a huge fan of it, except maybe in like the last year's format when Sword Soul was around and all of that, when you were actually able to utilize it to the fullest potential. But right now it doesn't seem bad. It just seems like it's not trading with enough, with it being able to only trade with one card. Although it's not bad against like, I don't know, Ibli maybe, but that's like pretty much it. If you actually decide to run it, like, what do you think? Would you actually see yourself running this card?
No, I think the last time this card was good, it was like Tribegate format.
Yeah, yeah.
It also like a card like this doesn't like if they lock 5, you can't. If they lock your spell trap, you can't activate it. But if they lock monster zones, because it's like better against your deck, whatever, it doesn't do anything because like negating the Shanglas.
Yeah.
It's just not a good like board breaker right now in this type of format.
I'm gonna put it in not worth it. Let's put it like here.
Yeah.
Right. So cards that take control. At the beginning of the format, like post the ban list, a lot of people were thinking about like running Mind Control and Change of Heart and actually using a copy of Arise Heart in their extra deck to like, I don't know, in theory, take a Kashtira monster, make the Arise Heart, which doesn't seem bad, but then realistically, no one did that. So I don't know. I think the card is like decent at best. Probably.
I think the card is good. I think I might even put it in goated, but I think the card is very good. Absolutely very good. Because like what you say is definitely true. You don't even have to like play an Arise Heart. You could even like take an Arise Heart attack and make a Zeus. Like if your deck already plays Zeus.
Okay.
I think this card is very And the thing you mentioned is like that's something you could play in specific deck as well. Like my team played against a Labyrinth guy, and we were all playing Cash, and then we activated Shangri-La, and then the Labyrinth guy sided in Fenrir, summoned a Fenrir, made a Rise Heart. Like, it's kind of the same thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then attacked and made Zeus. Like, I think a strategy like that to combat Cash with, like, playing your own Rise Hearts and Zeus is something that can definitely be valuable. And Change of Heart in general is, of course, a incredible card. Mind Control is a lot worse, of course. Because the whole non-attacking stuff, and, like, well, that's mainly it, and like, Change of Heart is definitely going into good category.
Right.
Mind Control is
we can put it in not worth
decent,
it, probably.
maybe
or
not worth
decent.
it. Yeah, like I'm not sure about those, but Change of Heart, I think is great. Yeah.
All right, no, I agree with your placement. I wanted to put it in decent just because sometimes you don't have space to play with stuff like that, like Labyrinth, obviously, but not every single deck is going to have the space to run something like Zeus, and just overall, you're playing more copies of extra deck monsters anyway, because they're going to be ripping them. So at that point, I would be sort of afraid to run something like in tandem with Change of Heart, but I get your points as well, so I'm good with putting it in good.
Yeah, there's some like Sprite already plays Zeus, Cash plays Zeus, and if they rip your Zeus, like taking the Rise Heart is still good because the Rise Heart is not negated, so like you can take that Rise Heart, then play whatever engine you play. The Rise Heart will get a material for every time you play a card, and then at some point the Rise Heart will be live. You use the effect, get rid of all of their cards, like, and then the Change of Heart became a +1. It's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think even if they rip all your Zeus's, if you play one, then it's still like it's fine.
They would
As
probably
a
have
card.
to use the Arise card though if you go change of heart, right? Because it's like not a heart once per turn. So if they use it, then you won't get the effect on that turn.
Well, that's fine, right? If they already use it,
It's a
then yeah,
yeah.
you just went to as a one for one. Then
Yeah.
it depends if you can like get rid of it. Sure, yeah.
All right, cool. I'm good. I'm good with it, but with it here.
Oh,
So
also like one thing on the kaijus, by the way.
yeah.
There's another like if they expect kaijus, if they play cash and they choose to play around it, then it's actually really bad because if they just set up like the preparation trap and search Scareclaw and you kaiju them, then like in your main phase they can go Scareclaw effect, banish the rise, summon the Scareclaw, and then preparations reborn the banished rise back. And then you're still on the rise. So if you play a deck that really struggles against the
Like the
banishing effect,
macrocosmos, yeah.
and not yeah sure the detach effect and get rid of a card's annoying, but if you lose against the banishing effect, kaijus might just not be the wave because they can if they play around it, it's really bad.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah. Also, now that we're on the topic of kaijus, we can talk about Lava Golem and Sphere Mode as well.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I think both of them are good. Like
Yeah, both of
especially
them are
Sphere Mode and
definitely
like
good.
Labyrinth and all of that. I think that's really really
Yeah,
nice.
Sherwood also could like see play in other decks, but now that like we have Sprite getting
Yeah.
more popular, especially this last week, it could be a card. It's just like depends on your deck if you how much you need your normal summon, of course. And against cash, Sphere Mode becomes weird if they know you play it. Or just if they go Rise of Past and accidentally play around, of course. I mean, that's the big issue with Lava Gold and Sphere Mode right now. If they go Rise Past, you just look stupid. So, yeah, that is also just depends on like what the cash players are going to do.
I don't know. I
Um,
think like if you're citing Lava Golem, you're probably citing like Eclipse as well. Like you're trying to, draw something for a fact to go up against them.
mhm.
So if you draw Lava Golem and it's dead, and you happen to draw Eclipse as well, you're still beating the Arise Hard Pass, which is not that bad. I don't know. I think all three are like valid, to play.
Yeah, yeah, no,
But
I
not
think
every deck
all of
can
them
run
are
them.
all of them are in the right category right now. Yeah, but they all have their own issues.
True. Very true. All right, so we can talk about like back row removal stuff as well. Like we have
Sure,
Cosmic, there's
Cosmic.
Lightning Storm,
Oh
all of
yeah, I
that.
was already starting. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, go ahead. Like there's just a lot of
Cosmic is
them.
goated. Right now, Cosmic is absolutely goated.
It's amazing. It's really very
Yeah,
strong right
it's
now.
it's even like you could say in certain decks it should be deckable.
All right.
But it should be actually it should probably be in your side deck, like because of like the popularity of runic decks.
Yes.
The only like slight, I mean, it's not even like it's not Cosmic's fault, but if you decide to like side Cosmics as your main like removal, I think your Labyrinth matchup can become a little bit harder because Cosmic is just not enough against Labyrinth.
Yep.
I just see runic decks being more popular right now, but that could change because of, like Labyrinth started out as a very popular deck in this
Yeah.
format,
True.
and Cosmic is just not enough against that. So then you really need like Evenly. I think is the only good one because Lightning Storm, which is the next one, I guess. Lightning Storm loses to the Lord of Heavenly Spheres, which is like a massive issue.
Yeah. And against Trap Tricks, they have the protection as well, which is annoying.
Yeah, it's also
Yeah.
just not that good against Trap Tricks. It's not good against Cash because like Shangri-La can't be destroyed is in defense, so like usually Arise so it's in defense too. Like Lightning Storm's kind of meh right now.
Do you want to put it in decent, like top of decent, maybe? Like
Yes, yeah, sure. It's yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What about Twister? Like
Um,
I think Twister is just I don't know. It
Twin
it
Twin
pops
Twin is
too.
good, I think.
But
Yeah.
there's still like the protection stuff and all of that. I think like if you're trying to play Cosmic, like you said, and you might have a hard time going up against Labyrinth or something like that, you probably should be playing it in a deck that doesn't have such a hard time overall to push into like back row. If you have a lot of extenders and a lot of cards to play with, then it's not that bad to side a Cosmic like on top of everything that your deck is doing. But if you might have a hard time with that, then Lightning Storm and Twister might be better options, especially if you can afford the discard.
Yeah, I think Twin is definitely better than Lightning Storm though right now, just because
Yeah.
like um
I don't know,
you
we
can
can
chain
put it
into
here.
Eradicator, which is something Labyrinth sides into.
Yes.
Lightning Storm, of course, just instantly loses to that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit better than Lightning Storm, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And then Evilly is probably goated. I would, yeah,
We
I
can
would
place it
like
here higher.
goated.
I just slapped it in there to wait for you to talk about it. So
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's
yeah.
definitely one of the better cards right now.
I agree. It's very, very strong.
Of course,
It's-
giving up the Battle Phase is like whatever, but like, it's good against cash. It's good against like, it's kind of good against Sprite. Like, if you have something else to deal with Carrot, otherwise you just play the Carrot negate. So against Sprite is kind of mad, but like against the Runic decks, against
Like,
Maturia, it's
Branded,
fine.
Traptrix,
Like,
Labyrinth, all of that. Like
it's just not good against Branded. That's only because they give you a monster with the expulsion, and then
yeah, if they do, yeah. But if they put up like a huge, like just branded board, then it's just horrible to get even lead, pretty much.
yeah, I'm just gonna assume like we're talking post side. I think post side, if you
Yeah.
go first, they're always going to expose you. So this is not a card I would side into.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fair. That's a good point. Like I was thinking, like because a lot of decks are maining it at this point. I mean, a lot. A lot of decks can main it, and some people choose to do it. Is what I'm trying to say. So it's not that bad if you're trying to main it. I think it's a very, very good choice right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a very good card right now.
Mm-hmm. So okay, we have Crossout, which obviously, like in Branded, it's like, you have to play it, I think, in the side. You can have a bunch of targets, there's Ash, and if you're playing Nib and whatever it may be, like Crossout is just mandatory almost, but that's only one deck. So if we're actually like,
Yeah, I think all of the other decks is
yeah,
not
if
worth
we're
it.
talking about the actual card, I don't know, like,
Yeah, no, in any of the other decks, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah. All right. So we can put it in not worth it, but like at the top, and just hope that the people are actually listening to the video and not skipping to the end. So if you're playing Branded, please run this. But other than that, you probably shouldn't. So there's that. All right. D-Barrier. Do you want to put it in goated? Or
Yeah, it is goated right now.
Okay.
Like,
I'm gonna put it
the only
here.
deck I wouldn't put it in against,
Mhm.
I think, if I was playing Kashira, I wouldn't side it in against the Mirror,
Okay.
just because it turns off my XYZs
Yes.
and it doesn't stop Fenrir like outing a card. Like, I don't think it's that great, but against, if I'm playing any other deck, or it's like against Branded or even Sprite, because like without help, it's kind of an XYZ deck now. So yeah, Barrier is just extremely good, and probably the one I would play over something like Anti-Spell if I was siding something for going first.
Like overall, I think our side decks don't really have enough space to play more than one playset of a trap card, and the trap card like needs to be insanely good, and it's also not bad against Swordso. I mean, not bad. It's really good against Swordso as well, which is starting to pop up again, especially now that it's budget. So yeah, like the card all around is just really, really strong.
Yeah, the only like going first card it's not in here. I think it's Deflector that I would consider, but that's mainly for cash.
Yeah. Like
I think it's very good.
Yeah, I didn't include it because it seemed a bit too specific, but it's I like that you mentioned it. I think the card is strong, but like similarly to Crossout, not in every single
Yeah, it's similar to Crossout, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so then we have Dark Hole, we have Raigeki, and yeah, we pretty much covered like Lightning Storm and all of that as well. So I think Dark Hole might be like a bit better with people still doing the Ibli lock, some of them at least on like a regional level of events probably. Like people need to keep in mind that the puppet like is just there. It doesn't matter if it leaves, it also doesn't activate, so don't use it against that. But like yeah, Ibli and just overall going second with Dark Hole, I don't think it's bad. It should probably go in like top of decent or good. What do you think?
I think it's decent.
All right.
Yeah. And then I think Raigeki is probably not worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it's a good card against Sprite, I guess. It's also a card that becomes better if you draw multiples, but not being able to like, I think in a going Sekigahara right now, it needs to be playable if you get locked, zone locked. And Raigeki doesn't do that.
True.
Dark Hole also doesn't do that, but like you say, yeah, it's the Ibli thing. So it's probably just not worth the spot right now.
I agree. Overall, comparing Raigeki and Lightning Storm as well, like if you're trying to play either, you're running Lightning Storm 100% of the time because of the flexibility. So Raigeki just falls off, I think.
Yeah, although like Raigeki can out at least a Rise Hard, because that's always going to be in defense.
Yeah, that's also true, but probably it's not worth it, even if it outs a Rise Hard. So yeah. All right, Dark Ruler. It doesn't seem that great, honestly.
I think it's decent,
Yeah,
but it's
probably not
specific
higher.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put it in decent because of course, like it's very good against Sprite,
Yes.
but it's not something I consider citing for cash because, like, again, it doesn't get rid of zone lock,
Yeah.
so it just negates Fenrir and Arise.
Mm-hmm.
And against branded, I don't think it's very good as well.
Mm-mm.
Um, so it's specifically for Sprite, but against Sprite, it's very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we can put it
The
like,
same,
yeah, we can leave
yeah,
it
we
here or like at the top.
yeah. Maybe there should have been like a specific um tier or something. I don't know. Like cards that are very good, but only against one matchup.
Yeah,
Like the
true.
next card is going to be like the same, right? Like
Yeah.
Denko is insane against one matchup. It's not good against Trapjack, but against Labyrinth, it's like an auto win.
I mean,
But like it's
we
just
should probably
one
put it
deck.
in good though, because Labyrinth is a tiny bit more represented than Sprite. People are still, or I guess not represented, but
I don't
like
think
people
so. I
are,
think
are
Sprite's going
still.
to be very popular,
It's going to
especially
be,
in
but
like
people still
sports.
need the time to like, I don't know, develop it, if that makes sense. Like the Melfi stuff just started to pop up, and then the adventure stuff and all of that. So, I don't know. I
Mm.
think Dinko is a bit better because like more people are actually, or a bit more popular right now. We can put it at like top of decent or bottom of good, whatever you want. Somewhere over
Yeah,
here.
it's both are fine to me.
I'll slap it here. We all know what
Yeah.
it does, but like it's really really strong. The only issue with it is that people can start to prepare for it, like flip stuff in the standby phase, like skill drain, which outs it basically. Other than that, they need to have judgment. But still, I think it's insane because not that many decks are actually reliant on normal summons right now, so you can afford to run it in a deck like Branded or something. I think it's
Yeah,
cool.
it's just another like question of like, are you gonna play something that is that specific if you have to
Yeah,
prepare for like 6, 7 decks?
like
And that's
it,
probably why I won't see that much play in the end.
yeah, it just might be. I think it's like again one of those cards where you need to look at your own locals or regionals or whatever it is and just decide.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. What are we doing with D-Fissure?
It's probably just, yeah, I don't know what to like say with it. Like,
I'll
I
put it
don't think
here.
it's very good right now.
Yeah,
There's not really
yeah.
it's not that good against Sprite. It's shit against Cash. Against Brand, I guess it's a little bit annoying, but I don't think it's like those cards are good into like a graveyard deck. Like Tears Dead and Dark
Yeah.
World isn't played that much. Like those should probably not be in your deck right now.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't make sense. If you're playing Kashtira, you're doing the Macrocosmos anyway. You're not gonna be citing Macrocosmos because it's slow as hell. And like D-Fissure, again, at that point, you're probably better off citing Shifter and just like literally pitching it and stopping their turn as well, as opposed to going second with it or going first and like flipping it, not just putting it face up. I don't know. It makes zero sense to me, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all right, great. So, okay, Droplet is a little weird because Arise Heart prevents,
Yeah.
all of
Also,
that. So,
like again, negating doesn't solve zone
yes.
locks.
Yeah.
It's probably not worth it right now.
Yeah, I
Even
agree.
though like that's kind of weird to put Droplet there, but we're talking about
Uh,
specifically this format, of course.
yes, of course. Like, because the card
Yeah.
itself is, of course, one of those cards that you probably should have, like, own a playset and just have it ready
Yeah.
for another format, though.
Yeah.
So, I think Enemy Controller is really nice. I think.
Yeah, I would be either good or goated.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
top of good.
I'll put it here. I wanted to put it here.
Um,
Yeah.
because it's such an insane card into a cash board. It's also pretty good into a sprite board, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go summon any monster effect, like a red chain, take their XYZ, and then you already have like a Zeus push. Like this card is very, very strong. My only concern right now is that Lance is just a staple in cash, and it's of course a card that loses to that. And it's out one monster, but it's very, very strong. It's like I might even want to put it in goaded. I'm not sure
Yeah,
yet, but that
we can
that
put
card's
it.
very, very
We
strong.
can put it there. I agree. It's great. It outs Ibli as well. It's also good.
Another, yeah.
Like if you give them Ibli and you put it in defense, that's also great. Then also pushing second with it together with cards that like activate like Aluber or something that activates and is threatened by an impermanence or whatever, and then you just get rid
you
of it,
dodge
dodge
imperms,
it.
invaders.
That's
Yeah.
just
The
it's
only thing
great.
is like it's not good into like labyrinth and branded, so like
Yes.
it's not something that you like. People mained it in cash, which is possible. I think
Uh,
it's better into a field of like more cash and sprites.
okay, yeah.
But if there's also like branded, which there will be, it's a good card in the side for sure.
Yeah.
Especially if you like loses to Ghibli and stuff. Yeah, very good.
It's just great, and it's just one of those like old cool cards, and I just love seeing it in the meta, and I just yeah, it's amazing. I'm a huge fan. So all right, Eradicator, like obviously Labyrinth plays it. I mean, we're not saying like you should run it right now,
I think Eradicate is very good.
but yes,
Both against of course all the runic decks, but like Carriage also plays a lot of spells. So
yeah,
if your deck can run it, you have space of it. I think it goes in good, yeah, because of course the
yeah.
Labyrinth is absolutely insane because it's search.
I'm gonna put it here. All right.
And the fact that it's a normal trap is also very good because you can trap trick it. So
Yeah.
yeah, very strong card right now.
So yeah, like I said, you know, don't play it in every single deck if you can't. But it's really nice if you're able to afford it. Obviously, in Labyrinth is just so amazing, and just Labyrinth going up against something like Chaptrix or whatever, like immediately it's just a very tough matchup for Chaptrix because of a card like this. So it's just so versatile and yeah, very strong, very annoying as well. A lot of people are complaining about Eradicator right now. So, okay, we talked about lands a lot. Where would you like to place it? Because obviously, like Kashtira plays it.
I think yeah, like this is one of the cards that
Again, one of those ones.
specific ones because for
Yes.
Shira just goaded. I think it's staple. Because
Hold on.
it's just checks runic really good. Um,
We're gonna wing it. We're gonna call this specific.
Yeah, specific goaded. Really. I don't know.
Specific. We're gonna color it purple, and we're gonna throw some cards in there.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw all of that in there.
Yep. That is nice. And Denko as well, right?
Yeah, Dinko. We just went rogue on my own tier list.
Yeah, no, Lance is, if you play Cash, I think Lance should be in your main deck
We
just
can
because
put
it
it
counters
like
all the
this.
counters, most of the counters against your deck, and it just checks Runic. It's the best card in your main deck against Runic. But of course, like in other decks, I don't think there's much of use for it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. All right, so we went rogue, but I like this. I think this tier is very important right now because it is a very weird format. So, all right, so goes in, and there's rivalry as well. I'm pretty sure if I can see over the edge of my pop filter, there can be only one as well. So like, yeah, what's your thoughts on all of the floodgates? Because sometimes like a floodgate may not be as great. Like rivalry, for example, is a bit worse than Gozen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
But,
Gozen is good right now.
Yeah.
Although like it's of course most of these you can only play in. Skill drain should also be included probably.
Yeah.
Skill drain is goated. Skill drain, but again, it's only if you play Labyrinth. But skill drain is insane.
We can put it in specific, but like at the top.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Probably.
Up to you. It's your list.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
our list. Where do you want to put skill drain? We
I
can
don't
put it in
know,
good, like next to Eradicator, right? Like we talked
Yeah,
about.
sure. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
That works. Yeah.
Okay, great.
And then Rivali's decent. Like
Yeah.
depends what deck you play. Although if you play Plunder and you play Rivali, it's goated. That's the only asterisk.
True.
Because if you give them a token and then flip Rivali, that's just FTK.
Yeah. That's true. But also, like, Rika can run it as well. So that's what I wanted to say. Like, sometimes a Floodgate might not be as great compared to other ones, but more decks can realistically play it. So that's also very much dependent on, like, what you want to be doing, depending on what deck you're playing. So, yeah, we can put it here. I think that's fine. So, all right. Let's see. All right, so we have the Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. I don't know. Like, is that even worth it? Like, is someone realistically going to be citing this?
Yeah. People have been playing this.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it in a lot of lists though, but like it's probably like...
it's a decent card, but again, it's probably only for Kashtira and Branded, so
Yes,
it only
of
covers
course.
2 decks. So it's and again, it's a purple card you side going first, and then it needs to be for.
See, that's what I'm
decks.
saying, because I just hate going first.
That's why I think
when
it's
you're
similar
going
to
first
Anti-Spell
anyway.
right now. Like, it's just another first card that
Yeah.
doesn't hit everything, so you probably won't have space for it. Or
Yes.
it can just hit your own deck, because like if you play Kashtira, you can't even play this.
Yeah, of course. I don't know.
So it
gets a bit
depends.
weird.
But like this card in general, like in a vacuum, if you read it, I don't think it's a bad card.
Yeah. All right, so we have the Gravekeeper's Inscription. Do you
Yeah,
want to throw
it's not
this in,
worth
bro?
it. It's just not playable in this format. I wouldn't say like, oh, bro, because why did you include this? Because like this card is
I just want to put
playable in some
something
format,
in,
but
bro.
like not in this one. Yeah, it's like Cosmos and Fissure. Like these cards will definitely be like toxic
Yes.
again in some format,
Ah,
but not right now because no deck cares
yeah.
about them.
Okay, true. All right, I think Harpies is just really strong. Like, even though there's like protection and all of that, it's a one-of that you can fit in every single deck. And also we're in a very wide open format, so you don't really know what you're gonna be going up against. And sometimes you just need a card like this. So yeah, do you want to put
I
it
think
in
it's
good?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting good.
Okay, great. Where would you like to place it? We have so many things over here already. Like here, maybe? Like it's I think
Yeah,
it's really
that's fine.
useful.
I think it's yeah, it's true. It's fine.
All right, great. Let's continue. So, yeah, we have the Herald of the Abyss. I mean, I wanted to include it because like you're forcing like your opponent to do it, which is not bad. And it was like in one of the lists from I think it was the Team YCS where I saw this. I just wanted to include it as an interesting tech. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think it's worth it. Like
Okay.
I think they're better going second spells.
We can place it
Yeah.
here, maybe next to Zuking Alpha. Like both of them are kind
Yeah.
of weird. All right, so Judgment. I think Judgment is really useful, actually. Like if
It might even be goaded right now. Like,
yeah,
not gonna lie.
mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
it's just yeah, no shit that stops everything. Yeah.
We can put it here.
Yeah, especially in like a format where evenly is good, when people
Yes.
have to like waste their battle phase, like if your deck loses that,
Mm-hmm.
only like you still have your entire field and then wasted their battle phase.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like Judgment is quite strong right now. I think you can play it in every deck right now
Literally,
as
yeah.
well. I lost a couple times this weekend too. It's very frustrating, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
probably goaded right now.
I agree. I think it's really, really strong. Like if you're trying to play anything going first, D-Barrier, Judgment might just be
Yeah.
the cards. All right, Fenrir, where do you want to place it? As like not just in Kashtira, but overall, as a tech card.
I think it's decent. Yeah, I don't think it's that.
Okay.
strong.
It's good.
Yeah, this is
All
better.
right. All right. So, okay, yeah, cool. I agree. It's not useful in every single deck. Like, it's literally just really nice in Kashtira. Okay, so moving on, we have the Kurikara. So this one is like, it just saddens me so much because it was so hyped when Kashtira was like, starting to become a deck. But then with people locking your zones, immediately everyone was like, oh, we're not going to play Kurikara anymore because they're going to lock our zones anyway. So I don't know, it's probably decent because you can't know what they're going to be doing. And like, it just reminds me of like Alpha and those cards that just aren't going to be enough.
This card does have like going for it that is also really good into Sprite.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's decent. It's one of my favorite cards, but I think right now, because you don't know what Kashira's doing necessarily.
Yes.
Also, if they just don't activate Shangri-La, you playing with 5 cards and you have to just start playing cards to start triggering their effects.
Yeah.
And then use Kurikara after. It conflicting with Runic card means like right now in a lot of the decks it's like weird to play it. It conflicts with like evenly a little bit as well, I think. Just because like you want to like try and kill them after like using free effects, right? That's usually what you try to do it. But it's definitely a good card.
Yeah,
It also becomes weird if they know you play it or they have seen it in like one of the games or whatever. So that's also a weakness that card has. But I like it a lot. But that's more bias.
Okay, all right, fair. I mean, we can place it like even higher if you want.
No, I think it's fine and decent. Yeah.
All right, great. So we can leave it here. Yeah, it's a cool card, but like sometimes, especially if they play like around it, which is not that hard to do, they force you to commit your stuff, which just sucks. So.
Yeah.
All right, Necro Valley. So.
That goes next to Cosmos. Like again, it's
yeah.
irrelevant right now.
Like we can put it down here.
Yeah.
Pankratops. So I've seen it in a couple lists. Like it started to pop up here and there. I don't know. Probably just decent, I think.
Yeah, decent. Probably it's better than Favor, I think.
Yeah.
Because of being a quick effect.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to like go into the battle phase to force your card. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, and also like Fenrir just becomes a bit like slower, having to activate in the next chain and all of that. And sometimes it's actually like physically removed from the field by the time it would be able to activate. So like Pankratops is just does it, which is much better. All right, so
This is
Sanctum.
our first Brock card, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because
Yes,
I
we're
don't know
doing
what
it.
this summons. Like Moral Tech, I
I don't know,
guess.
Lancia.
Yeah, I guess it can summon Lancia. But
If you
then we're
really want.
then it has to go like compete against a pointer and judgment and I don't see it.
All right, I agree. So Slumber is like, it's interesting. I've seen it in a couple decks that like are trying to play tier with you milling stuff and then having this. And then for a fact you're gonna go into a kaiju and then your opponent is gonna be afraid of the kaiju. So like I guess the mind games with Slumber aren't
Sounds very noteworthy, I
yeah.
think. I saw Michelle in his Plunder list he played it, which makes more sense.
Okay.
Because he was already maining a lot of different kaijus because of the attributes, and then
Yeah.
you can discard this card for your Yugen, and next turn send a search a kaiju. Like
Mm-hmm.
it made more sense in his list, but in general, I probably know of it.
I mean, we can put it like at the top because it's still an option, like if you really want, and
Sure.
if you're just going for like the kaiju route. But yeah. All right. So we have this.
I can't see what that is.
I literally forgot what it's called. Like it's the secret one where.
Oh, it's Spellbound.
Yes, Spellbound,
Yeah,
yes.
that's also just not worth it.
Yeah.
That's another first card usually. I mean, it's a quick play, sure, but
I'm gonna play it. Not play it. Place it like here.
probably
maybe?
the lowest. Yeah, I know. I think all the real floodgates are.
Okay, I agree. This card, like, it's so sad. Literally printed as a secret and just never used.
Yeah.
Okay, so summon limit. I mean,
let me think. No,
It's
that's not that good.
it's not bad, but no one is actually going to cite it. Like, there's too many going first cards that you would rather dedicate your spots to.
That too, and just like I was also thinking, how good is it into like, if I flip this into, like you have to like wait flipping it, I guess. Like okay, unicorns with Fenrir, flip it. That's pretty cool. I don't know. Like yeah, it's not bad, but there's just there's not enough space to ever cite this card right now.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
think-
okay, super polymerization. I don't think the card is bad, honestly. Especially if you are in that kind of meta. Like if you know you're gonna be playing against a specific deck, if you know
Yeah,
your
but
local meta.
this list is for right now, right? For this
Yes,
meta.
of course.
Yeah. Right now, I don't know. I don't think it's very good.
It's
like
probably
if you play
decent
branded,
still. Yeah.
it is probably good if you play brand. I mean, it's playable if you play branded. If you play anything else, it's not.
Probably like, I don't know, we can put it at the bottom of decent.
Yeah,
if
at the
you
bottom
want.
of decent. I think that's
I still
that's
think like,
fine.
yeah, it is true that I'm looking from the perspective of playing branded, which
Oh,
is not,
okay. Yeah, I think
which
if you
is
play
not a
branded,
bad
this card is fine.
Yeah.
It's a decent side deck or
Yeah.
like main deck if you play like the 60 stuff. Any other deck should probably not touch it.
It's just there's also the issue with you having to play all of the targets for it. Even in branded, you won't have the space probably. If you're trying to play like Garura and the Mud Dragon and Stapelia, of course, in your deck, and then all of other like extra deck monsters and multiples because of Kashtira, I don't know. Then you would have to like fit stuff in the side deck, and it just like makes me sick to think that I would have to fit like 5 or 6 cards in the side deck to play Super Polys.
Also, they will see you switching cards from the extra deck to the side deck, and then they can just think like, oh, you play Super Poly, and then they can just like play around it.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we
I
could
don't
also
like
put it in
the-
specific maybe, because like if you play it in branded, it's not bad, and against some matchups, we can like
Sure.
leave it here. Okay, so yeah, Swords of Concealing Light. So it's not great. Like literally, Arise Heart just deals with it.
Yeah, it's a continuous, right? So they just kind of rise or
Yeah.
no, this card is not worth it.
Where do you want to put it? Like here, maybe?
Yeah, anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just not worth it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I think Talents is really strong.
Yeah, agree. Very strong
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
So it's really, really strong. Do you want to put it in like goated or top of good? Like maybe
Goated, I'm not sure, because goated would also mean I think in
can
any
put it
deck
here.
you can just wreck this in. But it's very good
But-
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Going first and second, it's just again a card that is dead into the lock 5, but so many cards are. Going first is it's good.
It's great. all
Ash is
around.
everywhere, so like Ash usually hits every deck at least like on
Yeah.
some cards. So like if Tactus is gonna be live quite a lot. And then if you hand plays through it, you can just look at a card, which is really strong for information. And going second, again, it makes a Zeus line. Into a Rise Pass is a really good going second card. Yeah, I like it a lot.
I think it's insanely strong. But what about tasking? Like I like it. I like tasking a lot, but not a lot of people are, it's weird. It just divides the player base, I think. I think there's a lot of good targets for it, especially if you're playing that kind of strategy where you're...
I think tasking could be good. Yeah, for sure.
Like if your main deck actually is searchable by tasking, it just makes it that much better.
Yeah, no, I think tasking could be good now. Especially if they use Shangri-La in the standby. So if you don't play cash, and they see that with Diablosis and they use Shangri-La in the standby, then it's already live. So like,
yeah,
that just depends if you have zones to play with. But like if you have zones to play with, it's quite good. I think it's like a deck like Sprite with like, which is partly hand traps and then partly like.
Yes.
Like, yeah, this card is definitely playable right now. This actually could be good because it searches evenly too, right? So.
Yeah, searches Harpy, searches evenly, searches whatever, like talents, which is not bad, especially if you're not up against Kashtira and you're still running this card, then you would have to like, I don't know, I guess bait something, and then with talents you're able to push through much more or draw into your going second cards or engine or whatever. Yeah. So if you have the combination, I think it's also great. I like it. I think it's strong.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay, so we have There Can Be. Like, is There Can Be actually doing anything?
I think it's a lot worse than like Rivoli and.
Yeah, like comparing it to the other floodgates, it doesn't seem as great.
Probably right now, just not worth it.
Yeah, I agree. We can put it like maybe.
I think it's similar to Droplet right now. It's just in general is a very strong card in this form.
I agree. All right, so Ultimate Slayer. This one is again like one of those cards like...
Yeah, it's the same category. Like it's just... right now it's unplayable, but it's absolutely not a bad card.
Yes, exactly. Alright, we can like put it maybe... let me think. Do we want to put it somewhere quite low? Because like no one's gonna be siding this right now. Literally.
Yeah, but this card's better than Book of Lunar Eclipse.
We can put it like... I was thinking like here maybe. Like next to Regeki. Yeah. Alright, and then we have Zombie World as our last card. So, I mean... Plunder is falling off, and there's also not a lot of ways for you to like send
stuff. There's no way you play this at all.
Like it's not happening. So do you want to put it in Bruh?
Yeah, you can put it in Bruh, otherwise Bruh.
So. I wanted to put something in Bruh. So yeah, like
I think another like we already talked about it a little bit, but like another picture you could have had here is Ibli. Because Ibli is definitely an option for Sprite and Cash to play themselves.
Yeah, no, I'm good with talking about Ibli. I'm gonna just edit Ibli in. So what's your thoughts on Ibli? I think it's...
Like I said, I think it's a good option for decks that can play it. It's just depending on like if people respect it. Because if they respect it and play multiple Lingeribos, then it's really bad.
I just think that people won't respect it. Like they did for a second, but then the meta just started to move so quickly, and there's so many decks, and also like the thread that I was talking about before, where like you have to play multiples of cards in your extra deck anyway because of Kashtira, and then running multiples of Linguribo, which might not even come up, might make some people like not that excited to play Linguribo and just...
I mean, in Cash, I think you would, right? Like
it probably.
I mean, that's what everyone in Vegas played it, so
yeah.
I'm not sure. It's also another going first card that is quite specific, right? So yeah, that's my issue. And the other card I think should play like on this thing is Magic Deflector.
Yeah,
I already said that. Like I think that card should be in specific next to lands because it's. In Kashtira, it's so good to play it because like it hits every deck anyway. Like and especially in Kashtira, it hits Field Spell, Birth, and then all the cards they play against you, it hits their lands like Econ and Book. Oh, Book of Moon should be in here as well.
Oh my god!
Because Book of Moon is crazy.
I think I lost the PNG because I'm sure I had it. Might have been like a web file. I messed that up. I'm sorry. Yes,
don't worry about it. This is fine. But no, Book of Moon is probably the first card in Good or the last card in Goated. Like it might just be better than Econ as well right now. I completely forgot about it. But Book of Moon is crazy right now.
Yeah, Book of Moon is so good, and a lot of people like even prefer Book of Moon over Eclipse because you're like you're not giving them the draw, so you don't have have to worry about like actually breaking through the stuff.
It's also a way better going first card. So like
yes,
it's way
yeah.
more main deckable. Yeah,
Yeah.
Book of Moon should definitely be goated.
It's really, really strong. Like, again, with cards like I mentioned before, where you activate something and you're just trying to dodge stuff, you can set your own stuff as well, so it doesn't feel as bad if you draw it. And if you don't need to use it, you just set it and you're good. So yeah, we're gonna edit all of these in, and I think it's like all of these are important cards to talk about, and Book of Moon is busted, honestly. So other than that, I don't think I have any other thoughts about the list. I think it's pretty much perfect. We talked about everything.
Yeah, seems fine.
All right. Well, great. I think this was a great talk. I really enjoyed talking to you about all of these tech cards, and hopefully you guys got a bit of insight, about everything. Make sure to let us know what you thought. Make sure to let us know what you're playing right now and what's your thoughts on overall hand traps, tech cards, board breakers, all of that. I would love to talk with you guys about it in the comments down below. I'll make sure to link all of Raphael's socials in the description box, and please like the video if you liked it. Check out all the social media, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.